somebody who's suffering through that, who's trying every day to be better and trying every day to work through the demons that they have and working against their brain.
Right? And then like collaborative, like let's get our mental health together because we've displayed some toxic shit on each other, but we're not ready to give up.
You said it like that?
He can know my past traumas,
Yes.
Okay.
but he can't know everything that I've been through in relationships.
We rolling, need no man.
Why you calling me?
Hey, Nigel. Did too hard, bruh.
Dealing with mental health in relationships. How do you guys feel about being able to deal with your partner's or your mental health in the relationship?
Honestly, like, you never know. People don't really describe their mental health when they're in a relationship, so I feel like it's best to ask where their headspace is at.
I think mental health is really important. I take that very, very seriously. I think everybody's a work in progress, right? But I also think that you are responsible for a certain part of, your well-being, your happiness. Like, I'm not going to be in charge of making sure that you're happy or that you're fulfilled or that, you're not depressed. Like, that's not my job. And I feel like the more that you lean into somebody and kind of expect them to be that for you and to fill in parts of you that are not complete, the more toxic it can be. And then I just kind of feel like that's the beginning of the end. And I feel like, I've done that before in the past, and I don't feel like that's a healthy thing to do. So I think you got to find your happy, I'll find my happy, and then we can come together, and I think I can support you through that. But you got to make that effort first.
Have you ever dealt with mental health in a relationship, for one?
I definitely believe I have undiagnosed mental health. Right? And then like collaborative, like let's get our mental health together because we've displayed some toxic shit on each other, but we're not ready to give up.
You said it like that?
I mean, no, that's like the, in your head, like, let's get it together. That.
If not, the most important thing in a relationship is definitely super important. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know all the other shit's cool, like going out, meeting somebody who fun, meeting a motherfucker who tickle your fantasies and everything else, but people really don't stop to think like what somebody's mental health is and what the fuck trauma they done been through, what childhood issues they have, what they going through currently. So like that shit a big deal, but it's not something that I feel people consider early on in the relationship. I do because I done dealt with some crazy motherfuckers.
That's false. It depends on the person. Reason I say that is because when I get to know a person, if I'm gonna take it to that level with you, I break down a lot of things at the table. I wanna know it all. Because guess what? I can't help you get through your previous if I don't know what's going on.
And you do that early, like?
I do it. If I see a future with you of any kind, then yeah, I do it.
Oh, okay. But so even like, fifth date, if you like I'm fucking with this nigga, so you really, this guy, let me not say nigga, I'm trying to be political.
Right, be politically correct.
Trying. But yeah, damn, that's big, cause ain't no girl never asked me nothing like that.
I feel like sometimes even though you may ask, they're not always honest or upfront about what they're going through. I feel like, especially, obviously we're only speaking from a female perspective and we only speaking from dealing with guys. Guys aren't as vulnerable as females, so it's kind of difficult to really understand the mental health of a man when they haven't tapped into their vulnerability stage.
Yeah, society make them feel like they can't open up, so now you have to try to figure out how they really feel. So it's kind of confusing. Like, you'll ask them how their mental health is, but they won't really explain it. They feel like they have to have this tough shell automatically.
Definitely.
And a lot of these men haven't worked on their trauma. Women too, but yeah. I mean, what men really told you, like, yeah, I'm going to therapy, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because they don't be going to therapy. But
I think mental health is just figuring out yourself, figuring out what bothers you, what triggers you. And I think also dealing with mental health in a relationship is also knowing that it's okay to deal with it. I think that's the first part, because I feel like a lot of times when you deal with things as far as mental health, you're kind of ashamed of it. Yeah. You kind of don't want to express those type of feelings because you might feel like it might be weak or it might be a turn off to whoever you're dating. But knowing that whoever you're in a relationship with, knowing that y'all both are probably going through different things mental health wise, and understanding that it's okay, I think that's what's really more important.
When were you like understanding that this was mental health and not just someone's natural behavior?
So my backstory, right? 13 years old, diagnosed manic depressive, right? You're 13, you don't know what that is, which is bipolar disorder, right? So at 13, I already understood that this is what was going on with me, diagnosed, right? So I guess then going in and dating someone, it was more like, you're really unstable in certain situations. So I can't say that it was like, I knew that this person had a diagnosed issue, but I understood the patterns. So then I'm just like, okay, something's
I
not
knew
right.
nothing about mental health until I was like 28, so.
Oh yeah. So,
grown.
I was in family counseling. So I had like family counseling. I dealt with like some really hard shit in my past. I was like the worst kid to my mom. So we had family counseling and I went through counseling growing up. So for
Badass kid.
Yeah, I was bad. But I'm from a family where like mental health was something that was pushed under the table. But I saw how it impacted multiple people in my family. So I feel like if you hit it right on the head and you address it with your partner, then you can help your partner get through it. And that's why as a society, we need to go to like therapy. Like therapy is very important because it'll help us with mental health. But if I don't know what your issues are, then how is your significant other or even your friend, because you gotta be friends before you turn into a significant other. How can I help you? How can we work through these things if I don't know what's going on? And vice versa, because I'm an open book, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, so you got mental health issues.
Everybody got them.
No, I'm just saying, you said you gonna tell, so we just.
Everybody got them. It's certain things that everybody
I'll
go
be
through.
honest, some girls should have asked me some things on that 5th date, but we gonna,
Oh shit, you crazy?
When you say crazy, what do you really mean? Like?
But I mean, like I said, you need to come healed to a certain degree.
And I also think too, though, like you have to create a safe place. Like that's always the most important thing, and especially as it pertains to men. Like men have this thing where it's like, I don't want to show emotion, and I want to be the man. And it's like there's so many more layers of being a man than not being emotional. And I think that that narrative, like men can't be emotional, men have to put on this front or whatever. Like honestly, no. Like honestly.
It
starts really at home, actually. It starts with your parents. It starts with your father. It starts with your mother, who tell you that, hey, pick yourself up, don't cry or whatever. And so in your mind, you feel like you can't show emotion. But in reality, women are emotional and we need that. We just don't need you to always lead with emotion. We need that balance. So, I mean, it's like I can't be emotional and you emotional. We just, being crazy. When I feel like that's what's going on, then I might be like, okay, hold on. Let's regroup. But it's like, yeah, like I want to be that safe place for you.
So yeah, for me, I've always been in therapy. I always knew what therapy was, but I know now it's like a trend, like get better health, like
right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's definitely.
I don't think they do therapy or none of that in South Carolina where I'm from. So, I mean, I never had to like really worry about that until later on meeting someone in a relationship that talked about mental health.
Right.
So I guess it came to me later on, and then realizing a lot of my patterns, a lot of my trends were mental health issues. So I never had to like have a conversation about dealing with mental health when I was in a relationship. So like we were just catching shit.
Yeah.
During the dating stage, you guys asked about mental health before getting into a relationship?
Yes, I want to know.
No, honestly speaking, I never really asked. When we first start dating, no, I'm not gonna ask that. But during the relationship, I'll ask like, how's your mental health? Just to see where his head at. But that's not really common when you first start dating somebody.
Yeah. I didn't, but I do now. Yeah, for sure.
You're asking that when you meet them? When are you asking that?
Before getting into the relationship.
But like, I'm like, play out the scenario. When are you asking that?
So it's like, all right, we met, I gave you my number, and we talking, you know, that first like middle school phase, and you talking, I'm asking about
you going straight.
Yeah.
But you know you probably not, especially if you're probably not gonna get an honest answer out of that.
I think you will. I'm gonna ask questions like, when you're upset, what kind of response can I expect from you? Or are you gonna talk to me?
So it isn't like a direct.
Are you gonna ghost me? Are you going to shut down? Those are all the things. Like,
listen, ghosting will forever be a thing. I promote ghosting because I don't feel like you always gotta explain why you don't want to talk to somebody no more.
Oh. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't, but after this question today, I'm still probably not, but I probably should not, cause that shit like.
You got kids. That's why you should ask though, because guess what? If you get into a relationship with somebody and you don't know what their mental health issues are, then guess what? This gonna pass down to your seed.
You got a point, but I think I'm good at reading people too.
Nah, you ain't good at reading. Nah, people hide that shit.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. That's my default. Like I should ask instead of thinking I know better is what I was saying.
When we assume, we make a what? Ask ourselves.
You right. But
they really be pouring a lot of baggage out from early, and that really give me an idea of how they mental space is. Like they'll be like, oh, my ex did so and so, and I feel like those are red flags when he talked too much about her. So you just never know what kind of guy you gonna get.
Yeah, you should definitely ask. Like, I really think about third date, fourth date. Well, if you start liking this person, then you start seeing future shit with them.
That's it.
Those are things I'm going to pick up on as we continue to have conversation, as we continue to spend time together, as we continue to talk about our experiences. Like, I'm going to pick up on what triggers you. And not all things, I'm going to say, not all things I'm going to pick up on, obviously. But, like, the big things, of course, I'm going to be able to see, like, oh, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. So that's why I never really, like, fully ask. And that goes back to the whole thing of guys don't be as vulnerable as females. So I feel like, in a sense, I have to figure it out myself.
Exactly.
Honestly.
It's like,
But it all depends, because, like, if you don't know what somebody is going through, then, like I said, you just don't know. So, like, a person might spaz out for one specific reason, and you thinking that they just crazy, when really and truly it's their long line of history.
Traumatized.
They traumatized. Like, trauma can make you have, mental health issues. Abandonment issues. Your daddy could have left you. Like women, they daddies could leave them at a young age, and they have abandonment issues.
One right there. That abandonment shit is that's for both sexes. Like, bruh, like people who ain't used to motherfuckers being there for them, it's hard for them to be in a relationship. And if you don't know that shit early, you just thinking they spazzing for the moment, but really they got some real deep shit going on because they don't trust nobody or nothing. So
that's it.
Can I ask you this question?
Go ahead.
Damn! I'm gonna fuck you up. So as a woman, right? I'm gonna ask her. As a woman, since you care about emotions so much, how many times are you going to your man asking what triggers him?
You know what? You know what? It's funny that you asked that, right? It's funny that you asked that because here's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've, dealt with every relationship that I've asked about triggers. I haven't. However, I have recently dealt with a guy who did suffer a lot with depression, PTSD, and it was a lot going on. And I did have to ask, what triggers you? Like, what if, I don't want to do something that would purposely trigger you? That's not something that I think is, I don't know. I don't think that's someone's first thought. Like, hey, like what triggers you to da da da. I think if you do something, like if you do something that hurts me, and I feel like it's a pattern, then I might be like, okay, is it something that I'm doing? Like,
so
is it something, childhood?
We're waiting to see the result before we start asking the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think here's my theory. My theory is every African American person on this earth needs therapy because we all deal with mental health issues passed down from just the ignorance from our parents and their parents, and so we're dealing with beat the kids to get them right. Like, we dealing with all other kind of things, and so we
sometimes you got to whoop some ass. Sometimes you got to whoop some ass, get some straightening now.
I get it, but I'm also a parent who doesn't believe in corporal punishment.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother conversation.
The way you parent is the way you parent. I feel you on that. You can't tell anybody how to parent.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes a good ass whooping will fix a lot of shit. But I also don't want people like I don't like when people just put mental health on everything. Sometimes you just made a stupid choice.
True.
To do some shit that you ain't had to do.
True.
And then they jump straight to, oh, it's mental health, and try to use that as a cover up.
But I mean,
it shouldn't be that way though. But I think that's the more human way to go about it.
Because it's not it's like, okay, you go on a date and it's like, hey, what triggers you? Okay, what triggers you in what degree? In what way? Are you talking about what triggers you emotionally? What triggers you to fight or flight? What triggers you to lash out? Like, I think certain things should be asked when it happens, because maybe you've dealt with those things. Maybe you don't have triggers when it pertains to this or that subject, but I'm not meeting somebody and I'm like, hey, what triggers you to do X, Y, Z? I'm not doing that. I don't think that's natural, but I think it is important. Maybe you should.
In turn, how are we doing that in our relationships too, though?
How are we doing by the way you react. If somebody makes you mad and you react in rage every single time,
where does that come from? That's mental health.
It comes from, that's mental health. I feel you on that. Sometimes a grown ass person, you should know not to, you need to learn at some point, grown, that it's something that you don't need to do.
That's real. I agree, for sure.
I know somebody that something happened in a relationship and it was something simple. They decided to throw a chair across the room. Okay, bro.
Yeah.
That's something you didn't have to do that.
And you need a good ass whooping.
You need a good ass whooping. If you had a couple of ass whoopers, you wouldn't have picked that chair.
That's real. That's real.
So, I mean, the whole thing with mental health in relationships, it's kind of hard to get into as far as with your partner, especially when y'all trying to learn each other. Because that's not a topic that you're going to just bring up out of nowhere. You're not probably going to be like, you got mental health issues.
True.
When does that question come up?
Would you deal with somebody finding out that they battle with, i.e., anxiety, depression, or PTSD? Would you stay or would you not?
Oh, it depends on what the fuck the issue is.
Like, if you tell me some crazy stuff, I don't know how I'm gonna react to it. It just really depends on where your head is at, and what you come with. Because people don't be paying attention to what people come with, and they stay, and then y'all gonna end up breaking up anyway. So, yikes. You might as well face the facts from early. I feel like it's important to pay attention to mental health, but also the red flags, because everything is not for you to fix. Exactly. So, you're not supposed to be somebody's punching bag.
I am a fixer. I stay. And because I actually give a fuck. And I actually want to just help you. And then understanding trauma, right? I want to help you through. I just feel like I want to be the happier part for you, right? So I'm sticking around. I dated someone who was like, I'm not gonna say schizophrenia, but it was giving. It was giving. It was like you woke up in the middle of the night and someone lives in my garage. What? But it was weird. Yeah, that was a true story. So yeah, but I felt like, okay, I knew this person's history. I knew what they came from, and I just wanted to be the better part of their story.
So you said you like to be a fixer. Are you trying to fix their mental health?
I don't think that I'm trying to fix it. I want to make it better.
So how do you feel like, would you stay or would you not?
Let me answer, because I'm dealing with someone who suffers from all of the above. Okay? All of the above. And I will say that maybe on the outside, like if you just said that question without me ever experiencing it, I would probably say I would walk away. But I think that when you get to know somebody and you get to see how deeply it affects them and how it's all about, to me, about the effort. Like, you can be depressed, have anxiety, have PTSD. That's one thing, right?
Sure.
But then it's like, are you going to use that as a crutch? Or are you going to really try to work through that and overcome it? Right. And when you see somebody who's suffering through that, who's trying every day to be better and trying every day to work through the demons that they have and working against their brain and what it's telling them to do, you don't want to leave them, Right. And it's like, but like I said, with any type of mental disorder, it's about the effort. And it's about really working every day to be better, because I gotta make sure I'm okay too.
Right.
You know, it's only so much love. You know, I love you, but I gotta love me more, because without me loving me, I can't love you. I can't pour into you. So I think I would stay. But not to a fault.
Nah, I'm a fuck. I mean, unless you on some weirdo shit, but
that's why I say. And it depends on if you're willing to keep getting the help. Like, some people know they got mental health issues, but they don't want to take their ass to counseling and talk to nobody about it. I can't fuck with you. Like, it is what it is. You know, no shade.
Nah, it's shade. If you crazy and you like being crazy.
Because I volunteer with a mental health group. Like, you know, like every month I have a specific society that I volunteer with or whatever, because like I said, but if you do not take ownership with your illness,
yeah, you got to.
I can't deal with you.
You got to. So yeah, if you willing to work or at least confront your demons, then we cool. We can. I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm human, I understand. But if you a fucking nut for the sake of being a nut.
So if I'm a nut, right, but everything else will line up, like, but I'm a nutcase.
Nah, I'm not fucking unless, and it's only so many times you can tell me, I ain't gonna key your car again. Nah, this the third paint job, dog. Third one.
If we can find peace somewhere in that and we can work on it together, like it's not that bad, we can figure it out.
Go see that lady.
But like,
go see that lady.
Go see that lady.
Please, because I don't got time.
The reason I say I would stay because I feel like everybody is dealing with some form of mental health, and so I feel like in going in it with that mindset, yeah, I probably would stay. I mean, it's probably
everybody fucked up.
Everybody fucked up. Everybody going through shit. Everybody got shit going on. They want things to go their way, and life, it don't work that way. So you're gonna be going through something. That's selfish, but it's real life. Like, I mean, we got goals, we got dreams, we want to do things don't work out as planned. God got His own vision for how He wants your life to go. You know what I'm saying? And we just living it out. But yeah, I definitely would stay because I understand. I'm a human. I understand that people go through things. So
yeah,
you know, but I do feel like it's levels to it though.
It's definitely levels.
Let's talk about how guys be knowing your triggers though, be knowing what you be going through and still be triggering you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
listen, I've been in situations where you'll tell a guy everything that you've been through and they'll put you through that and worse. So, should I stay? No, because you just never know. Like, would you stay for me? I don't know.
So he posed the question.
So I stay because I always hear this quote, it's so much you can handle, but you know what you could take. So it just really depends on what I could take. I know what I can handle. And if I feel like it's not for me, then cool. But if I could handle it, it's like, okay, you know, I've been there. I'm the type to be like, okay, I've been there, so I really got to consider that, you know, he may have went through something worse, or you just never know, because men don't really have
speak about it.
Yeah, they don't really speak about it. Like, they're not able to be as open as we are, or well, they think that, you know. I'd rather my guy be vulnerable enough to talk to me about everything, but you know, everybody don't just come and talk to you about everything.
Yeah.
So.
Talk about the importance of expressing mental health. You kind of went to it already, but just kind of give y'all perspective on the importance of expressing it early.
In my relationship, I got a cheat code because my girl is a therapist.
Okay.
But she doesn't therapy me to death. She doesn't sit there and try to therapy me. Will she suggest that I go to a therapist? Yes. Do we talk about everything? Like, we open up and she tries to understand why I act like this.
Yeah.
Why do I respond this way? Yes, we do that. I don't think you personally can fix someone as far as in a relationship with them, because those emotions hit different.
I agree. I feel like expressing it early gives people the option to know. I feel like everybody should always have the option to know if they want to stay or if they want to go. So if you don't bring it to the forefront, then you misleading, like you're leading a person on, and you're giving them like a fake persona or a fake you. And then when the real you come out, it's like they got so many other things, so it's like you confusing them because you didn't give them the real you from the beginning. Like, I always say this, no matter what the situation is, give me the real you and let me decide if I want to fuck with you or if I don't want to fuck with you. Because at the end of the day, If you real, I'm gonna fuck with you and just help you get through it.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But I also feel like if I tell you that and you ask me why, I got the right to leave now. Because now you got to make me go deeper into this.
So you just don't want to get into the emotions.
What if that gets worse with me? You're giving me more now, because now I got to talk about this for real. Now I might tap into something that was old.
But is it not old? Is it not old to someone that you spend time to be able to like give an explanation? I spent time with you. I gave my body, I gave my time, I introduced you to my life. I let you in on my most secret part.
So I built a tab.
You build a tab.
I built a tab.
So you can't, an explanation is the least to say, this happened and we can't do this anymore.
Mental health, it looks like Robin Williams. It looks like, it doesn't look like somebody, it looks like the average person that you don't know. People mask it in different ways. I mean, mental health could be you going home or sleeping a lot. It could be not being motivated. It could be you laughing too hard and going out your way to be super happy and being super joyous and you're not. It could be being the only person that drops everything they're doing and being a good friend. It can be whatever. It's everybody. We all have our own set of mental health issues. It doesn't have to be, bipolar or schizophrenia, but it can be, you not knowing.
Where I'm at now, though, I actually enjoy talking more.
Okay.
So there is a lot of layers that you got to keep pulling back.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of dudes got to keep talking and pulling this stuff back because it's a lot of women that looking to be led. You ain't going to be that leader unless you open up like that shit.
That's right.
You're not going to be that. At the end of the day, most women want to be led by a solid man that is secure with himself. Most niggas ain't opening up like that.
That's real.
That's another reason why the dating scene is trash right now. I feel sorry for y'all. If you're single right now,
2 out of 10 don't recommend.
Okay, so I'm 30. I'm sure you're in your late 20s.
Excuse you.
We go put that, whatever.
I'm
So
forever 21.
I think that this whole conversation is more about maturity. I think when you're in your younger 20s, you don't really. That's not even a thought to even ask that, you know what I'm saying, early, especially during the dating stages. I think that a lot of times when we're talking about mental health and we're okay with expressing mental health, it's after we done been through some bullshit relationship-wise, or, we got our heart broken, and now we at a point where we're really trying to see, like, do we have a connection? What bothers you? What bothers me? I feel like that's just, later 20s, early 30s type of vibe. So,
I don't know if I agree with you, Nigel. I don't know.
At 22?
I think that there's no age limit on it.
I'm just talking about the expressing of it.
You gotta just be real with yourself. I think being real with yourself, because I feel like in my early 20s, I was very aware that, hey, I'm depressed. Or,
we didn't even know what mental health was until about 5 years ago, honestly.
I don't agree.
Being aware of it.
And that it's something spoken about,
It's been around,
I feel like it's very important because that really shows you how you're gonna deal with everybody, regardless if it's family or not. I feel like everybody needs to just go see that lady. Like I said, like that's your only option, because I feel like everybody needs somebody to talk to, or somebody that they could be vulnerable with, or like express their emotions to. So you just gotta find that person, and if it's not your partner, you need to be a therapist.
That lady.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you should let motherfuckers know if you crazy. And I'm just using the word crazy lightly, but just, what I'm saying, you shouldn't go into situations. Once you figure out if you like that person and you see a future with them, bro, let them know if you a little off. Like, hey, don't do this because it makes me a little,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I really.
That's fair though.
Like, it's certain things I don't like. Like, bitches can't be calling my nigga baby and bae and shit like that.
Not even the waitress.
Nah, bruh, fuck that shit.
I can't help that she hospitable.
You need to check it before I check it.
So what I'm supposed to do, walk in here and say, hey, don't none of y'all motherfuckers call me sweetheart or none of that, because I'm going to get beat up when I get home.
However you want to handle it.
You cute enough. I probably would tell them that.
I don't wait till I get home to address the situation. I address it right. My mama always told me, you address the situation where it's at, so that way they understand. So that's if she real. Bae you right there, I'm gonna tell both of y'all it ain't no bae over here.
That's real.
Definitely important. I wouldn't say more so on like the beginning parts of the dating stage, but like as you begin to get serious with this person or build a bond with this person or like figure out like, oh, okay, I see myself with this person, then now it's important. Like now you need to talk about, okay, mentally, this is what I'm going through. And then ask your partner the same thing. Mentally, what are you going through? Like really having that solid foundation and that communication is really important.
I think it's important to talk about, but I think more than it being talked about, I think you again have to be real with yourself and you have to have real, honest, transparent conversations, because you're not gonna wanna say, hey, I'm a mess. Like that's not gonna be something that you're comfortable saying because you don't know how someone's gonna respond. Because also it's about this. It's like, hey, just like what I do with friendships, are you available to allow me to vent? Are you available to hear what I have to say? Are you available for those things? And some people are not emotionally available and ready to receive those things. So is your partner ready? Is your partner able to kind of help you through that? And you know, do they have the capacity to deal with that?
You want to say, yeah. In that route, you're not thinking about
late 20s.
That's what I'm saying. You do though.
Some early 20s are doing
those are not conversations that we're having with somebody that you're dating.
Maybe back in our day. That's back in our day. Because there's a lot of mature early 20s, especially because it's being more talked about. It's all about what's the conversation now.
I believe in you gotta be the change you wanna see. So you have to change yourself first. Like that. First and foremost, you need to work on you. Don't come in with all this baggage that you're not willing to work on, because that's not gonna work. Like, you gotta be able to say, okay, like, even if you come in unhealed, let's say you come in unhealed, I'm gonna come in unhealed, but I'm working on it. I don't wanna hear, that's how I am. I can't with the that's how I am
at all.
If that's how you is, don't be like that with me, because it ain't gonna work.
So the conclusion for me is, mental health is scary. You know, life in general, I think, is scary, and it's really, really unfair. There's so many things that you're gonna go through in life that you're not gonna understand why you're gonna question things, and the quicker that you allow yourself to be who you are, and when I say be who you are, I mean really be who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the depression, the anxiety, bipolar, whatever it is that you are, as soon as you can accept yourself, other people will accept you. And it's okay. Be okay with not being okay, and be okay with people not accepting you. I think a lot of times people hide behind the shell of being okay because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be isolated. They don't want to feel more lonely than they already are. Newsflash. Like, people are. The most popular person, the prettiest person, or whoever you're comparing yourself with, they're dealing with things too. But what will set you apart and what will set you free is just being at peace with yourself. My advice to everybody always is be at peace with the outcome. Whether it's good or bad, be at peace with yourself, have grace with yourself, and be real with yourself, because you can't form meaningful relationships and people that are gonna love you and create a family around you if they don't know who you really are.
That's right.
So that's really what it is. Just love yourself and go to therapy.
Just be honest, open, and upfront. If you know that there's something that's your trigger, then just be honest with the individual, let them know. So that way they can know where they need to stay or they need to run.
That's a fact.
For men, all right, at the end of the day, bro, most women are looking for somebody to lead. You gonna be put in a situation where you have to lead, whether you want it or not. I don't care how independent a woman is. Every woman gonna break down and be submissive for that nigga. But if your ass not leading in the right way, she not gonna follow you. So you will get I'ma talk and do it wherever I want to. You can't tell me something. If you getting that, you ain't leading right. Because every nigga can break any woman down, depending on who you is. I'm telling you. If he do the right thing with the new relationship that you brought up, you gonna be soft. Women gonna be, because you weren't created to be hard and to be the leader in the relationship. You weren't created to be that. Not that you can't be that, because women have shown if I gotta do it, it's done. We ain't got to question this.
That's right.
We've seen so many black women be leaders. We've seen them be independent. We've seen them lead households. We've seen them raise a whole generation of men. If they gotta do it, they're gonna do it. Why not you take the role and do that? Why not you open up and go ahead and let your feelings out? Because if you let your feelings out, then you ain't got to be so guarded. Then you ain't got to be broken. Then you can be fully man with your woman.
I agree. Just tell the motherfucker, But most people gonna stay. For real, we all a little off, you know?
We are. We crazy.
Just let me know you're off so we can, and then I know, I let you know my off.
It's balance.
Yeah. So that way we can work through our offness. That's what we gonna call it.
Offness?
Offness.
Okay, it's offness.
Yeah, it's offness.
We're gonna work through our offness.
Yeah, that's it. So, just let people know you. I mean, we all know you're off, but just let me know what your off is about. So that way I can navigate around the off.
He off.
Yeah, I'm off.
Oh no, I can't.
I'm off like a motherfucker.
For all my young people, I would say that if you're in your younger 20s, be okay and accept that people are human. I feel like at a younger age we don't really hold those conversations or have those conversations as far as mental health because it's just not in our nature. I mean, we get so much other things you could be thinking about as a young 20-year-old. But I feel like if you are mature, I think that you should have those conversations and don't be discouraged by what you hear. Don't think that it's a turn off. Don't think that it's something that I can't deal with. You gotta be a human, understand that we're all going through something at every age that we at. So something that we want to do that it might not be going the way we want to go. We wanted to go, or our life we want our life to go somewhere, and it might not be as perfect or as in order as it should be or as we want it to be. So I think that we should just be mindful of that and. Especially during the dating stages, because those are the times where y'all trying to get to know each other. And if I'm going to be vulnerable with you, I need to know that you're going to accept me as a person and not, be turned off or, be discouraged by what comes out of my mouth. But the fact that I'm allowing myself to express those feelings to you, I need you to, you got to be accepted about it.
Yeah, women allow men
we don't have to do that.
Space, allow men to be like vulnerable and all that good shit because that's what we want. It's always about balance.
So when it comes to mental health, for sure, I think it starts with consideration. For me, I think consideration is higher than love for me. So when you consider someone, you respect them. When you respect someone, you'll naturally love them. So I feel like when you consider someone else, you consider if I do this action to them, what kind of impact am I putting on their lives? Like, how am I hurting them? How you think about them? I think being considerate is the one thing to impart on someone else's mental health when you decide to be in a relationship with them, because it could go so many ways. So if I did it, it's gonna make me feel like this. So no, I think consideration is number one for a relationship when it comes to giving a fuck about somebody else's mental health.
I'll say, ladies, don't tell that nigga what you've been through.
Please don't.
Don't tell that nigga.
Y'all be telling them too much.
At all. Don't. You can tell them a little bit about your mental health.
Not the whole thing.
Don't be telling that nigga what you've been through, because that nigga will use that shit and think you weak. Like, don't do that. Don't do it.
What she said. What she said.
But no, it's definitely important to speak about your mental health on a surface level. Definitely when you're dating. Right. And as you progress, definitely go deeper and deeper. That goes with building connections and building the bond.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just my advice.
Don't be telling that man too much.
Open up any way that you need to, whether that's going to therapy. I'm not somebody that's gonna say go to therapy. But it is a tool that you can use. If you got homeboys, niggas have got to talk more and stop joking on each other and making it unsafe for your homeboys.
Accountability.
It's the difference when you can talk to a man and tell him you going through such and such and you hurt and this bothers you, and that nigga look at you in the eyes and tell you, bruh, I felt the same thing. It's a total difference, though. Women gonna be there and they gonna, oh baby, I want you to be better. She just wants you to be better. When a nigga say it to you or a man say it to you, it's different because now you know it's somebody right here with you going through that same thing.
Okay.
Open up, dog. Don't be too tough to cry. Let that shit out.
I always say, and it's something that I always remember, forever is a long time to have small talk, okay? It is not worth it in the long run. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth it. Just be who you are, and I promise you, there's gonna be someone who loves everything about you. And that's really it, sis. Like whether you 18 or 28, there is no age limit on this. Get in tune with yourself and your mental health, and you will thank yourself later.
Great point. I will say though, Nigel, just to piggyback off of you, I think us, our age group, when we were growing up, mental health was not anything that we were thinking about. But this younger crowd now, that's all that they know. That's all that they know. It's definitely social media. Social media has brought that awareness for them. Like they literally have that outlet to do it. And it's crazy because when we was in school, the weird nigga who was probably battling like depression, we looking at him like a fucking weirdo. Right. And honestly, he really battling some shit.
Exactly. And didn't know how to talk.
And didn't know how to talk.